Oh,
Salud.
you had to throw that in. Now, just like the Jets, you can't really chug this all at one time. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't get all Jets players.
I did.
It tastes good, though. It's good, right? It's flavorful, and it's going to do you good.
Well, everything that you have is very good.
Do you like my Garrett Wilson jersey?
I love it. I commended it as soon as I walked in. I mean, it's 17, not 5, not cinco.
So it's kind of retro.
It's kind of retro. I kind of like it. Actually, you know what I used to do?
Retro.
I'd go on site when I didn't have as much money as I do now, and I would buy the guys last year's either number team or the team that he was on.
That's smart.
Back in the day, because I'm like, hey, look, it's still the same player.
I was kind of thinking of doing that with Gibbs, because I see all his jerseys are on clearance right now. I forgot he switched to 26.
Yeah.
A lot of jersey changes this year, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I hate the guys that change to 0, because it's like, don't you want to be a hero?
Yeah, I'm not big on the 0.
I'm not big on the 0. It's like, did you like I know it's a number, and that we might as well just go negatives. We might as well get into -1 and shit.
Actually, the thing I hate more than anything is when the defensive players take all the offensive players' numbers.
Oh, I hate that too. I'm like, that could have been a great jersey sale. You know who would have had a great jersey sale if it was 20 years ago? When Reggie Bush came out and they wouldn't let him wear number 5 because he was at USC, and he had to wear 25 because that was the rule. You had to wear a running back's number.
Yeah.
Nowadays, oh my God, that jersey would have been priceless.
Unbelievable.
And Reggie Bush was trying to be the first one ever.
What, to wear that number?
To wear a single-digit number as a running back.
Yeah.
College has always been like that.
Yeah, absolutely. They have. But anyway, welcome to the Fantasy Wise Guys. We are here. We're live. It's Friday night. Things are exciting. Puma's going to get us rich on some parlays. I'm Mike Meals.
Joey Puma, how you doing?
Well, welcome to the family. Remember, don't forget to please subscribe. If you're watching this and you haven't subscribed yet, we're 22 episodes deep. Subscribe.
What are you waiting for?
For real, right? Instagram, follow Fantasy Wise Guys. Fantasy Wise Guys. We've been putting out a lot of content.
Yes, we are.
A lot of new stuff. Puma, talk to me, man.
Yeah, man. I'm having a great Friday. I know you are too. We have a lot of news, and we have our bold predictions and breakout segment today.
Yes, sir.
So that's a lot to get excited about. I am. I know we were texting earlier, and we were kind of like making fun of some candidates, like what and what not to do. But we have our guys, and we're ready to rock and roll.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are kind of questioning how early we are into the season already. They're like, oh, you guys are putting out content already? Yeah, sure. Haven't you seen the amount of news that has happened since we started?
Yeah. No, there's been a lot of things going on. The Aaron Rodgers signing.
Huge.
That's huge. You had a player retire at an early age. That's huge. You had some signings, re-signings, Rashod Bateman, all that stuff. And we're going to get into it ahora. Now.
Yeah, and those are things you got to pay attention to. So, yeah, like Puma said, one of the first major things that happened, Aaron Rodgers finally signed his one-year deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is huge for Pittsburgh.
Absolutely.
For all players, DK, Jalen Warren, even Caleb Johnson.
Absolutely. When Aaron Rodgers was with us, he did make, Breece Hall was relevant before, but mostly in the passing game, on third down. Anyone with Rodgers, even though he's older and his talent is a little bit diminished, he still knows how to play the game, and he could still throw guys open. And I believe he could make Caleb Johnson a great RB2, and a deep in drafts selection going forward.
Honestly, I think DK is in for a big, heavy workload, being that you saw the way that Rodgers was able to give the ball to Garrett Wilson and DeVonta last year.
Yeah.
DK right now is the only elite alpha over there. He's definitely the number one. They just signed him for 5 years. I have to imagine this Rodgers to DK connection is going to be pretty lethal. So if I were you, I would keep an eye on him and lock him in if you can.
Absolutely.
Next thing, J.K. Dobbins.
This is big for fantasy because it has a lot of implications. You saw what J.K. Dobbins could do once healthy and given an opportunity with Jim Harbaugh. Now coming over to Denver, this solidifies two things. One, you have to follow the money. You know, he was signed for almost $5 million guaranteed. So you know, coming into it, he's going to lead being the starter. You know, and this also implies taking a hit on R.J. Harvey. I mean, R.J. Harvey is one of the sleepers coming into fantasy. You could probably relate him to Kareem Hunt from years past. You know, a guy picked on day 3 by Andy Reid, and you know, no less here by Sean Payton. But this does impact both, because now you know, day one, I believe it will be J.K. Dobbins. You just follow the money.
Possibly.
And it moves down RJ down the depth chart.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's at least going to delay his production. And I think a lot of people, for those who don't know, J.K. Dobbins signed a 1-year deal with the Denver Broncos. We talked about R.J. Harvey, who was drafted to the Broncos this year. Day 2 pick, pretty notable for a guy like Sean Payton. So to me, am I worried about R.J. Harvey? Not really, because in the end, we all know what J.K. Dobbins does. He gets hurt at one point. The guy will probably not see it past week 6, 7. And if he does, I think that R.J. Harvey will still get an exceptional workload. And that offense, that they need a solid running back to help move the ball. So I think R.J. Harvey, if anything, if his value is down and he's picked later in the draft, that's somebody that I'm absolutely looking to pick up, because now his value's less and the possibility of boom is still high, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I do feel R.J. Harvey can make an impact this season. It's all about, you know, where is he going to be drafted? You know, this does take a hit with draft day, because, I mean, again, you can get him a little bit later now, but now you're taking a risk. You know, is J.K. Dobbins going to get hurt? You know, you have a lot of factors that are involved now. It's one more mouth to feed in that offense. You already had Estime and McLaughlin, so now it's a 4th dude. And, you know, we'll see. As training camp starts and begins in 4 weeks, we'll see, you know, who's taking the reps with the ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick Chubb signed 1-year deal with the Houston Texans. In my opinion, good for C.J. Stroud, good for the Texans, not so good for Mr. Mixon.
No, I totally agree. I think that this spells that they cannot trust Mixon down the stretch. I mean, he was hurt for like a couple of games with that high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
You had Cam Akers come in, Agumbawale come in, all guys that don't even compare or, you know, touch Nick Chubb's jockstrap.
Yeah.
I totally feel that Nick Chubb is a great real football signing for fantasy. Again, like Denver, it clouds connecting the dots in terms of, okay, you know, Joe Mixon right now is scheduled in as the starter, but Nick Chubb could be a sneaky pickup down the road.
And we know that Nick Chubb has battled and came back from knee injuries, not once, but 2 times.
Right, twice.
So this is a pretty big deal. I've seen some footage. I've seen some tape on him. He still looks good. He's moving around quickly. He's back at it 100%. So we'll see. I mean, of course, all injuries like this can really put a damper on people, but I'm more concerned for Mr. Joe Mixon. And then what the hell happened to Dameon Pierce? Is he okay?
Yeah, no.
Somebody check on him?
Yeah, where did he go? That poor bastard. I mean, you know, he was like a fantasy darling not even 2 seasons ago. And now he's forgotten. Like I say all the time, Mike, NFL, not for long, man. And that's like any place or job place. You can always be replaced. So always be on your P's and Q's.
Yeah, absolutely. So
absolutely.
Oh, another one. This is what we kind of had differing opinions on this, but the Lions center, Frank Ragnow, retired. He's done. It's over.
Yes.
29 years old, Detroit Lions center, gone, out of there.
No, you know, he did retire early. You know, for me, I thought it was a little bit premature. A lot of people want to relate it to the Eagles situation when Jason Kelce, you know, retired. The thing is, when Kelce retired, they already had a replacement in mind, right? And then the following year, they went and got Becton, you know, and they solidified that line. I mean, the Lions now, they have to put in their day 2, guard or center, whoever they drafted, a rookie behind center. That is not an easy task to ask someone. And, the guy, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, in Philly, he was groomed for a year. This, now you're coming in with a rookie, a new offensive coordinator. I don't know. I think for me, not that it affects my rankings so much, but I would just be aware. Something to be aware of.
For me, it is not affecting my rankings on Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, Goff, none of them. I will say that maybe for the NFL itself, for the Lions, it might be a little tricky, but certain things, again, there's going to be people that are always going to put out their information trying to guide you away from players. I'm not worried about this. So if you feel comfortable taking a Lions guy, by all means. Rashod Bateman signed a 3-year, $36 million deal. Kind of notable. Good for Lamar.
Oh, very good for Lamar. I mean, again, it solidifies that he's going to have another pass catcher. And it took Rashod Bateman a while, a season, I believe 3 or 4, where, he actually came about. I mean, if he doesn't have that season prior to, he is not getting anything. I think he's still going into the season without a contract. But because he had a blow-up season, he had some blow-up games, that got him his 3-year, $36 million deal. And, good for him. Again, regular guys in the NFL have to get paid too. So, you have a roster of 53. So, you got some checks to hand out. They had an extra $36 million laying around.
Yeah, and in the end, to me, Rashod Bateman is nothing more than, I guess, like a best ball player, because if you're looking, he did have some boom games.
Right.
But in terms of targets, there's only 3 games last year where he had over 5 targets.
Yeah.
Only a 69% snap percentage.
Pick a Pittsburgh game.
And he had 9 touchdowns, so a majority of his points came from touchdowns. In the end, he's not too notable, but it's definitely important for Lamar Jackson's fantasy value because, like Puma said, he does have another weapon there, solidified, guaranteed for the next couple years. And on top of that, they signed DeAndre Hopkins. They have Zay. They have all the tight ends.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a free-for-all in terms of who's getting touchdowns next year.
Absolutely.
I'm a little worried about Baltimore receivers.
No. I certainly think that it's going to be a plethora of options for Lamar. But you do have Mark Andrews, likely. Now Bateman, Nelson Aguilar. We're not even mentioning Zay Flowers.
And D-Hop.
D-Hop. Oh, right. I forgot. D-Hop. You have a lot of mouths to feed, but the one person this helps, Lamar Jackson. When it's 100%. Like that and you got a guy that has so many options like a Baker Mayfield, it helps the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's what we know is the certainty.
Yeah, man. It's like literally giving a guy a bunch of different ammunition, putting a bunch of guns in his place, saying, hey, look, you can take on any army you want. You got your pistols, you got your shotguns, you got your rifles, you got everything. You got your scopes, ammunition. He's got it all. Lamar Jackson, his battalion is full. So a couple random reports, a little low-key random. So James Cook, we mentioned, wasn't at mandatory, or he wasn't at OTAs. He is present at mandatory minicamp, despite the contract negotiation. And I love it. This shows the kid has got character. He wants to play. And if he gets paid, I'm pegging him to do some similar numbers to last year.
Absolutely. As soon as Mr. James Cook does get paid, I believe he will be on the field and doing fantasy wonders. Last year, he had some real blow-up games, Mike. I know he does take value away from Josh Allen. Josh Allen takes value away from him in the red zone and stuff like that. But still, in a scarcity position, you can do worse than James Cook, and I think he'll be a great value in 2025 drafts. His ADP right now, you have him falling out of the first round because there's so many good, talented wide receivers. ADP, you're probably looking at 203, something of that nature.
Yeah, and to be honest, his snap percentage was not too high, despite the fact that
Ray Davis played in a part of that.
Ray Davis a lot, Ray Davis, and that's the thing is people see that snap percentage and you get worried. Even his low volume in terms of carries and yards, but he averages 5 yards a carry. He had 16 touchdowns, and he's explosive. James Cook is one of those people, when you watch him run on field, he's almost gliding. When he gets the ball, I don't see him getting stopped anytime soon. He can easily bob and weave. He reads holes well. He's a patient runner. James Cook's a stud. You just need to get him on your team and at a good value, and he's draft worthy.
Absolutely. And I think in that offense, especially for running backs and Josh Allen, very fruitful.
Agreed. Now, Deebo Samuel, there were some reports on him, some videos of him running routes. Guy looks awfully
a little
slow.
slow.
Huh? I
mean, looks a little slow. Are you kidding me? He looks like he just had some Popeyes.
Now, do you think this is just like some off-season stuff? Like sometimes these guys just aren't ready? Like, what could this be?
I try to think how ready could you not be? I mean, you got millions. You could have 3 personal trainers, a nutritionist. But at the end of the day, I truly feel there's a difference between the Tom Bradys and the guys like Phillip Rivers, And not to say Phillip Rivers is so bad, but I'm just trying to make a point. There's a difference between the superstar echelon, and then there's a difference between guys that are just good. If you want to be that good, you got to work out year round. This is a commitment. This is a lifestyle. Right now, you see why San Francisco got rid of him, because they are held at a certain standard. So for me and San Francisco, I think it's a great deal for both, because new scenery for Deebo. But let's see, maybe he'll thin out by start a training camp. He's only got 4 weeks. Put him on a,
Yeah, for real. And I'll be honest, we were kind of excited about the new change for him. You saw
system.
He got some motivation there. He's on a team that went all the way to the NFC Championship last year.
Yeah.
But I have to say, just seeing the videos itself, despite the reports, despite the ADP, the rankings, the stats, watch the videos. If you look at this tape, he did not look all that intriguing. And I will say that there's a lot of people around him that I'd probably be more interested in drafting. Like right now, he's got an ADP higher than Michael Pittman. I'll take Pittman. Higher than Jaden Reed. I'll take Reed.
Whoa.
Higher than Ricky Pearsall. I will take Ricky Pearsall.
You're brutal, man.
I'm telling you, I'll take Pearsall.
You're brutal.
Deebo Samuel.
I don't know about all that.
Even taking a shot on somebody like a Darnell Mooney, I don't know. I'm a little concerned with Deebo Samuel and his production.
No, I at the end of the day, we're doing camp talk right now. But if gun to my head, I have to take the talent over those guys. Even though, he doesn't look like he's in shape, whatever. What are we wiping down over there? What are we, in the hot church?
It's killing me here.
No, I think that Deebo will come to form once games start in August and stuff like that.
I mean, they said that last year too. But you also know Deebo is like a jar of silly putty. He breaks apart really easily, and sometimes he's a little slow and fat.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he's Teletubby-esque.
But I had him last year. He was a big disappointment. We've talked about it in the past that he's had a chance of redeeming himself because there were some off games last year. And you're right. It is June. We got 3 months. Let's give him some time.
Yes, for sure.
One last thing I thought was notable. Davante Adams said that he feels rejuvenated with the Rams. He said, I'm telling you, I've been to a couple of teams in the last couple of years, the locker room. He didn't mention the Jets or the Raiders.
Right.
But he's essentially talking about the locker rooms, the aura, the atmosphere.
Well, and in so many words, that means the Jets and the Raiders.
Awful locker room.
Well, you could just see, coming from Green Bay that, he was in a winning environment.
Yeah.
And then guys think that they could get paid and turn it around. I'm trying to name somebody that was so good and went to a shitty team. But guys do go and take the bag and think that they could change things. But in the end of the day, it matters of the team around you and the standard around you. I mean, you saw when, Aaron Rodgers left the Packers, comes to the Jets, dysfunctional organization. Again, it's just the way that teams do things, and it comes down to all about how they eat, or what they do. And a winning culture breeds winning players, and you could see where he was the past 3 seasons were not winning cultures.
Yeah, and despite thinking you can go there and change it, this is a 53-man roster. NFL team got 53 guys, and you need every guy to be involved. So, yeah, DeVonta, I'm still thinking that you're going to have a monstrous year in LA. I'm actually excited for you. And to be honest, reading some reports lately, seeing the hype here in McVay, somebody like Puka Nacua, I feel like is being a little overvalued in that first round, I have to say.
You see, and that's where I disagree with you, because I feel that Matthew Stafford has a lot of rapport. Like, look at Cooper Kupp and him, right? Look how much rapport they had, right? And then he started establishing that rapport with Puka Nacua. I feel that it's going to take a little bit of time for Davante Adams and Matthew Stafford to get on the same page.
Definitely.
I would still take Puka first, in the first round, just because of all that volume and because of familiarity. And look at the division. I mean, not for anything, they should be beating up on Seattle and Arizona all year. So for me, it's Puka Nacua all day in the first round. If I could get him, 111, 112.
So I'll tell you now, you get presented at the 7th pick. Would you take Puka Nacua or Saquon Barkley? Right now, Puka is going higher than him.
I take Saquon, even though I am a true believer in the Madden curse. Right now, off the top of my head, I'm taking Saquon just because he's a running back.
The opportunities.
Yeah, the opportunities. And yeah, I know the tush push has stayed, but again, it's Saquon Barkley. Unless an injury or camp casualty happens, I can't really push him down that much.
And that's my concern. Puka Nacua, wide receiver 5 going into the year. Overall ADP, overall 7, ahead of Malik Neighbors and Saquon. It should be interesting. And if you take him and he hits, you're gonna hit big, because Puka Nacua is like a lottery ticket.
Right, and for me, I truly feel that Puka Nacua, if he somehow slips to the top of the second round, you've got a major steal.
Big time.
I think a lot of owners look over him just because of, like I've said in previous shows, new and flashy toys. Nico Collins is pretty new. You have, of course, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Chase, all those receivers knock him down, not even mentioning the running backs that take precedent over wide receivers. So I feel like you could probably sneakily take Puka Nacua at the end of your first round.
People really do like new toys. Like my kids with the toys, oh my! They get a new toy, and I'll tell you right now, they're going right into the starting lineup. All the old toys are going in the bin. No need to play. It's really amazing. And even I think as adults, we're kind of like that. I get a new watch, I'm putting on the new watch.
Yeah, watch your mouth. You gotta take somebody's eye out with that chandelier.
What's the next thing we got, man?
We've got breakout candidates, Mike. And I want to know who's your breakout candidate. We have a few for you guys, but Mike and I were going back and forth with this all day, and we wanted to put out some great candidates for you guys to keep an eye on, because we believe that their 2025 year is going to be one of their best years. So, Mike, who do you got for us?
Big time. And we were going a little at it, a little combative.
We have to be.
So one guy that I'm super excited about, coming from another high-powered offense, my boy Jameson Williams, J-Mo. Now, I know what you're thinking. This guy had a couple of issues last year. He's had some injury problems. But last year, the second half of the season, he was an absolute breakout. He averaged 16 points a game PPR. He was third in the league yards after the catch. So third in the league yak per reception. This guy runs his posts and go routes all day. Obviously, he's a new offensive coordinator over there, but I have to say, based off the potential that last year they did not throw the ball downfield as much. They were one of the last ranked in the league in terms of throwing the ball 20 plus yards. Jared Goff was ranked. I think they were ranked in the last 3, the bottom 3. So Jameson Williams this year with a new offense where they're going to look to push the ball more downfield. They're going to go back and look at last year and say, what didn't we do last year? What could we do differently? Someone like Jameson Williams, who is a deep field target threat, this is a guy that I could see catch, over 150 yards, a couple games a year. So to me, because of the low value right now and because of what the offense brings to the table, I think that you have to really look at his second half of the season last year. And 124-yard game, 143-yard game, caught a touchdown in multiple games. Again, he still broke 1,000 yards after missing 3 games. He still broke 1,000 yards. Jameson Williams is a threat. He's somebody that you have to look at that can finish a wide receiver 1, or not wide receiver 1, a top 12 wide receiver.
Right, he's up. He's going to be up there.
And this is also the same guy that you could draft 3rd or 4th out of your receivers, because you can get him in the 6th round right now. But let's see, come draft day, might change a little bit. But in terms of breakout, I think that the best is yet to come for Jameson Williams because of this new offense, because of his familiarity with the team itself, and because of their commitment to him. So, to me, I think Jameson Williams is massive potential for continued growth, and you got to really pay attention for him this year.
I love it. I always liked J-Mo coming out of Alabama. I know he had the ACL tear, I believe, coming out of the draft. And I was big on him for the Jets to take him over Garrett Wilson. That's how much talent I felt like this kid had. I know they have a different offensive coordinator now. We always try to emphasize that. Might things be different? But no, I think that's a great pick. And, we're in year, 4 for them now?
Yeah.
That wide receiver group coming out. So I think that it's time for him to blow up. It's time for him to show that he was picked, in the first round for a reason.
Yeah, he was a 12th pick in the first round. Only 24 years old. The guy's got crazy speed and athleticism.
Love it.
Who do you got, man? Tell me somebody.
J-Mo on the rocks. So for me, I've got MVJ, Marvin Harrison Jr., my man. This guy has had a great offseason. I mean, have you seen his pictures?
Yeah,
Len,
he looks
put up
jacked,
a pic.
bro.
Put a pic up. He looks jacked.
He looks huge, right?
Oh, my God. He looks like he's been training with Mr. Puma. Anyway, he's got put on 20 pounds of muscle. I mean, this guy is ready to maul over people. Now, Mike, this is why he's my breakout candidate. Last year he averaged 9.7 points per game. I mean, not too good for someone you probably took in the 4th round. His snap percentage, 79%. So at least we know he was on the field, right?
Yep.
The production wasn't there, but we knew he was on the field, right? Targeted almost 6.8 times a game. So you're looking at 7 if we round it off, right? So for me, I feel like he's a big breakout candidate because of, again, in Dynasty and in keeper leagues, it is always great to draft rookie wide receivers because year 2, year 3 is their breakout year, right? They are comfortable in the offense, more rapport with Kyler Murray. And I felt like it was more of a Trey McBride breakout rather than a Marvin Harrison breakout. He had just gotten to the team.
Yep.
So I feel like in his second year, more rapport. I feel like him and Kyler Murray are going to do wonders, especially we always talk about the division, can be a factor in leaning towards someone. I mean, right now, the Rams do not scare me. Their DBs do not scare me. Other than Jared Verse, until they get a Jalen Ramsey, which they haven't gotten back yet from Miami.
Yeah.
That's the word on the street. I truly believe that Marvin Harrison can do work in that division and in that conference, and he's my breakout candidate. Sometimes you just got to go with the bloodline. His father was a Hall of Famer. It's only a matter of time before this kid starts game wrecking.
And the best part about
he was
Marvin
the best
Harrison,
wide receiver coming out other than Neighbors, your boy BTJ. He was ranked number 1.
He was.
So for him last year, he should take it personal. He's going to do wonders.
I think you're right, too. When it comes to the dome games, I mean, he's going to play minimum 10 dome games this year.
Right, exactly. And I didn't even bring up that factor. That's a good one. I always bring up, what is the weather look like? I know it sounds a little corny, but you really think about it, it does decide whether the offensive coordinator wants to run the ball or throw the ball. Well, if there's no precipitation, let's air it out.
Yeah.
That's why we got a player like Marvin Harrison Jr.
We saw last year, man, when Kyler plays in domes, he's a baller.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff happening for those rookies that first year. It's hard for them to get acclimated.
Yeah, and that's what makes BTJ and Neighbors so special. So for this guy, I think he takes a big leap in year 2, and we will be talking about drafting Mr. Marvin Harrison in the first round next year.
You know, he was a year too late for me because I drafted him last year in the 3rd round and I was sick. I still went to the
Sick to his
championship.
stuff. This guy was asking me every day, "Do you want him? Do you want him? Do you want him? I'll take Neighbors for him. Do you want him?" I'm like, hold that thought. Hold it a little bit more. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Oh man, Marvin Harrison, my boy. But you know what? He's sexy this year. He is sexy this year.
Who's your second candidate for a breakout, Mike?
Oh, this one was juicy. I love this
Tell me.
What do we know every year about the Seattle Seahawks main running back, Mr. Kenny Walker Jr.? What happens to him every single
Gets injured.
year? He gets hurt. And who comes in and saves the day? Mr. Zach Charbonnet.
Ooh.
Saves the day. What do you say? Anyway, Zach Charbonnet, my man. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Kenny Walker's there, Mike. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? Listen, forget Kenny Walker. The guy's already injured.
I love Sharbs.
Charbonnet is a massive talent on a new offense with complete different pieces over there. And Clint Kubiak over there already mentioned the fact, because he's the new offensive coordinator.
Right.
They got Sam Darnold. They got
Right.
Cooper Kupp.
Right.
They've already mentioned giving a good workload role to Zach Charbonnet. And again, last year, towards the end of the season, if you had him on your team, he was a breakout and he was a monster in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
He was an absolute monster. Let me just get you some points. He had 34 points for PPR leagues in the last week leading into the regular season, 34. And then actually after that, he had 13 and 24. But regardless, that 34-point game, if you needed that win at the end of the season, he was a nice little sneaky stash that you can keep. When he gets the opportunities, he produces. And when I look at his carries compared to, or snap percentage compared to Kenny Walker, he still played 52% of the snaps. Now, granted, Kenny Walker, great running back, super solid, got a lot of potential. His metrics are phenomenal, and his metrics almost lead him to be like a top 3 running back in the league. He can be a top 3 running back, but the guy just can't stay healthy. And Zach Charbonnet is the preferred guy out of the backfield when you're talking about catching the ball.
Well, that's why they originally drafted him, and I do believe this is future Zach Charbonnet's offense and backfield. And I think that Ken Bones Walker will eventually fade out. I mean, the best ability, my coach once said, is availability, Mike. It doesn't matter how talented you are, but if Len comes to work every day and Justin is the most talented guy in the kitchen, well, you know what? But he's always sick every other day. I'm going to go with Len because he consistently arrives. He comes to play.
Yeah. And we know about committee running backs. They can coexist. And a guy like Zach Charbonnet is not expensive right now. You can get him in a late round,
Yeah.
and he can be maybe a flex play RB2 in the future, maybe even more. So I'm all on the lookout for Zach Charbonnet. I think it's his time. I'm going to pour me a glass of Charbonnet, as my boy Chris
Hey,
Lawson
that's a good one. Usually I come up with the names. That was a good one.
pour me a glass of Charbonnet.
Mike, my next guy is a very low-key guy.
Whoa.
And I believe this young man in year number 3 will be drafted in the top 5 rounds. It is another Marvin Mims Jr. Now, this is really deep, and I love this guy as a breakout candidate. He was on 40% of dropbacks, Mike.
Oh, wow.
In the offense. Now, you're probably saying, oh my God, Puma, that is very risky. Yes, he is a very risky player. He's a very boom or bust player. But Mike, listen to this. In his blow-up games, especially that Monday night game against Cincinnati, he can put up points. He put up 30 points in a PPR, not even mentioning a bonus league, 6-point PPR league for quarterbacks. So I truly believe that with some more snap percentage, because last year he was 27%, right? This is very scary. but the boom could be outrageous. This is a player that could get you 30 points as your flex play or wide receiver 2. Especially if you're playing in, I know a lot of guys, they play in wide receiver 3 leagues, right? 3 wide receiver leagues and a flex. Why not take a flyer on a Marvin Mims? Myke, his ADP is 1201. That's insane. That is like basically free. So for me, I feel like this is a guy that's going to be drafted in the top 5 rounds. He's with second-year Bo Nix, who's only blossoming. I believe anytime this guy touches the ball, he gives me Deshaun Jackson vibes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the numbers now. The last 6 weeks, he was unstoppable.
Right. The last 6 weeks, the first couple of weeks, yeah, he was barely even, alive, right? Let's just call a spade a spade. But at the end of the day, we want to look for trends, right? And I always will tell players, okay, look at the beginning and the end, but I want you to see not how the person or the player started, how did they finish? Because that's what we want to know. We want to be recent numbers bias.
One thing I really like about him, and I was going to argue with you, but I'm looking 100% catch rate most of these games. I mean,
he doesn't drop the ball either. So when he's in, he does not drop the ball. Who he reminds me of? He reminds me of, oh my God, it was a guy that played for the Saints, Lance Moore, back in
Lance Moore, wow.
Yeah, like
really pulled that one out.
Yeah, I'm an animal. Or you know what? Okay, I'll give you one that most people out there will know. Golden Tate.
Golden Tate, that's a good one. He's kind of like a Golden Tate.
Right. Guy that will go over the middle, get the slant, and could take it to the house, and could do a go ball. He could do everything. But I just think Marvin Mims is overlooked. He was drafted in the league to be a kick returner specialist, but he's made his way on the offense. He's a smart player. And like you said, that catch radius, 100%. He does not drop the ball. Again, not the most talented player, but if you're looking for a flyer late in drafts, I already told you, ADP 1201. I mean, why not take it? I project this guy going in the top 5 rounds next year.
I could see it.
And a lot of people are sleeping on him.
Him and Bo Nix came in together. They might ball out together.
Exactly.
Wow. If you had him playing championship week last year against Cincinnati, he would have scored you 30.2 points.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's somebody that you would overlook. Like, it's not a household name. Don't get confused with Mims from the Jets, right? Denzel Mims. Don't get confused. It's his cousin. Don't worry, and he's much better. So, for me, it is Marvin Mims, and that it concludes my breakout.
I've been in this club too long. This woman that I would try.
Marvin's Room.
Is happy with a good guy.
Yeah.
I've been drinking so much. The Marvin's Room. You really went with the Marvins.
I did go with the Marvin's Room. You know what? I had to stick with my boys. I couldn't leave them.
Honestly, I like both picks, Puma. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
yours.
Waiting to hammer you with something. I'm just sitting here waiting to battle you.
Yeah, originally.
These are great picks. How can I say?
Yeah. Again, Myke will always try to stump me or think that.
No, give me a break.
That I won't be able to supply the backing, but. That's the whole fun in this, and at the end of the day, we agree to disagree. That's what makes sports so fun.
Differing opinions. It's something good. Bold guys we are. Speaking of bold guys, bold predictions.
Yes.
Do we got any?
Yes, we do, Myke, and I'm going to lead us off after I just finished us. My bold prediction is Mr. Handsomely Played Brock Purdy will be a top 7 quarterback 7 at least, the lowest. I think Myke, with the schedule, right, that the 49ers have, which is the easiest, this sets up Purdy for success. He's getting back offensive weapons. Brandon Ayuk will be back probably by week 2 or 3. You got CMC in the backfield, all healthy. You got a new toy with Garindo. You still have Kittle, who they just paid. I think that is also a plus. Also, too, we always talk about, like I just said in the last segments, about division. None of these divisions, I think, can stop him. And they do play indoor games. Other than in Santa Clara, they do play a lot of games indoors. And the NFC, yeah. So this is a great factor. And let's see if he could make a Ricky Pearsall, Jawan Jennings. Jennings. Yeah. Jenny, don't go. Forrest Gump. That's Forrest Gump, if you guys don't know.
Yeah.
So, again, I think he's great. I mean, look, Mike, he didn't play all his games last year. He only played 15 out of 17, missed 2. He finished as the quarterback 14. You're telling me with a better schedule, healthier players around him, he can't finish 6 spots high, 7 spots higher, 8 spots higher? He can.
No.
And you know what? A lot of people don't think of Brock Purdy's running capability. He does. He can get you 2 or 3 touchdowns on the. Trust me, I've taken it on FanDuel. Yeah. It's a great one. You know, he could get you some rushing yards. So don't sleep on Mr. Brock Purdy, and that is my bold prediction. He'll be a top 7 QB.
I mean, besides looking like a little California surfer boy, he's kind of a stud. And even after not throwing the ball that much last year, he still threw for 3,800 yards.
Exactly.
It was a tough end of the season too. They battled some bad weather games, some difficult injuries they had, specifically him too. Yeah, I think this is a big breakout year for them.
Yeah, and he just got paid too, so he's not playing with a worry on his shoulder. And get that ball to Brandon Ayuk for a nice 80-yarder. You know, I know he's got the capability.
And they got the worst schedule, or the easiest schedule.
Easiest schedule. They got rid of a big distraction in Popeye's the Deebo over there, and in Washington. Now you can find some more Popeyes, I'm sure, in the District of Columbia. I'm sure there's a lot of there. Just turn right on the White House. All I know is that San Francisco, I think, is better for it. And Purdy, now that they've paid him, he's a man on a mission. He wants to show why he's worth that money.
You know what, though? And these are called bold predictions for a reason. These are things that seem outlandish and are statements that we're, making predictions of next year that you would never guess. And it happens every year in fantasy football. There's always people that emerge. There's people that decline, people that regress. I mean, 2 years ago, I remember a very popular analyst that we both like very much told us all about a man named Mr. Puka Nacua. Said, sneak him in the last round if you could. We all said, who?
Who?
Puka Nacua? But what happened? And it was a bold prediction, but it worked. So sometimes you got to take these hot takes.
Right.
Even though I'm not a big birdie guy myself, I say that, listen, this happens this can happen. Analysts you guys hit the nail on the head sometimes.
Well, but last year, I don't know if I told you, but I had said my bold prediction going into 2025. We didn't have a show or anything, but between friends, I did say Saquon Barkley would be the #1 running back.
You did say that. I know, I remember.
Because he was going to Philadelphia, and you saw how DeAndre Swift did so well. How could Saquon not?
Yeah, that's a big point. And again, people emerge, people fade. Get on the right side.
Right. That's why recency, right? You have to know, and this is a big thing. This will probably go back. We'll have another strategy show. But guys, even if you're out of your league, right, and say you've started off 0-6, 0-7, still watch football. That's my biggest message that I could tell anyone. Is keep watching, because when you keep watching, you store that information and you remember who was good towards the end, who was good in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
Who could I keep in mind for the next year?
Now, one of my bold predictions, another quarterback. I might as well introduce this guy now. I don't know if you remember him, a man by the name of Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
I think, despite everybody being so down on him because he's really just vanished in terms of fantasy production, I think he returns to being an elite quarterback this year, top 3 quarterback. You can quote me on it.
Wow.
Let's just think of a few things. I'll make it brief. Patrick Mahomes is a 3-time NFL Super Bowl champion.
Okay.
Reigning, not want to say reigning champion, but he is coming back for revenge this year. I saw him already cut the hair. He's working out. He's obviously doing a lot of stuff during
You're big on the haircut thing.
I'm big on off-season, action. What's going on with them, things that I see. The way that they lost last year in the Super Bowl, I have no way, shape, or form believe that the Chiefs are on the way out. And I think that this year, with all the potential additions back, getting back Rashee Rice. They have Hollywood Brown, who's healthy. As you saw, Xavier Worthy was great. Now, Pacheco missed a lot of the season last year. He's back right now. He's healthy. They got Kareem Hunt. Travis Kelce, even if he's not that productive, they have Noah Gray. So now, if you remember 2 years ago when Patrick Mahomes had his weapons, is when he had the most production. That was with the years of Tyreek Hill, the last year that they won a Super Bowl with 2022. That year they won a Super Bowl in 2022, and he was elite. You can count on him for running the ball. You can count on him for throwing it for a couple of touchdowns. He had 41 touchdowns, over 5,000 yards passing, and he's not that much older. He's 29, and for a quarterback that has a lot of experience, these guys age like fine wines. And I'll tell you, everybody is down on Mahomes to the point right now where I'm seeing him get drafted 6th or 7th round in mock drafts. So if I'm doing a redraft league, let them take the other quarterbacks. I have no problem loading my team up with ammunition from rounds 1 through 5. A Patrick Mahomes can finish top 3 elite quarterback. This is your guy. Just because of the fact that he's got his weapons back, he's a Super Bowl champion, and in the end, this is Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
I love it. I love it. Give the former Super Bowl MVP and 3-time winner some respect. Put some respect on that man's name.
Give him something.
They only won 2 Super Bowls in a row. You know, that was a great point. Loved it. Loved Patrick Mahomes. My guy, and I'm going to do a little alert here. I'm going to change up the playbook here, and I'm going to go with Mr. Jordan Mason. All right, Mike.
Whoa.
Now, not that I don't like our friend Aaron Jones. I love Aaron Jones. I love him at the value. But you know whose value I love even more? Jordan Mason. And you know who Jordan Mason is to me this year? Austin Eckler. And I truly believe in a Kevin O'Connell system. He's going to be using that other running back. That's why they brought this man here. Right, they signed him for a reason. They went out of their way to sign him. I mean, they had Tyler Chandler there. They had some other bodies there, but they went out and signed him. Mike, when he was on San Francisco and CMC was out against our New York Jets and the following 8 weeks, he had a snap percentage of 80%. This man does not come off the field. He might come off the field a little bit because he's got Aaron Jones now, but he does not come off the field. I truly believe that Minnesota could sustain 2 standalone running backs. This could be a great flex play for you guys. Mr. Mason, Jordan Mason, is ADP 802. That is a steal. That is great. Now, for you guys out there, ADP is average draft position. Just so that way you know the breakdown of what we're talking about. But his average draft position is 802. Again, that is great, especially if you go out and get a Aaron Jones. But say you don't get Aaron Jones and you went 0 RB. Well, you know what? Why not come back and have your RB2 as a Jordan Mason? And let's say, God forbid, Aaron Jones does get hurt because he was worked a lot last year.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You've got yourself an RB1 locked and loaded in a Kevin O'Connell offense that produced Todd Gurley with Sean McVay and the LA Rams back way when in 2015. Again, this guy has done it before, and I believe he could do it again. He will have some standalone value. Mike, I am making my Pro Bowl prediction that Jordan Mason will finish as a top, get ready for it, RB 13 on the year.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was RB 34 last year, but that was only because CMC came back, and then he did suffer some injury. There's a reason why Minnesota had a chance to get him, and Garindo emerged towards the end.
Of course.
But leading into that, I mean, Mike, he was a top 10 option every week. For the first 8 weeks, he was a top 10 option. This guy could have standalone value. My bold prediction, Jordan Mason, put it at the bottom, Len. RB 13, 2025. Bold prediction.
I love it. You know what? Jordan Mason, I think everybody was super scared that any Aaron Jones owners was petrified when they saw Jordan Mason get signed. 2-year deal, they might see something. And we all saw it last year. That Jets game. Oh my God, I remember that Monday night Jets game.
Yeah, he was running all over us, dude. You know what I kind of compared him to?
Who?
A better version of Alexander Madison when he was with Minnesota.
He looked explosive for a little bit.
And you wouldn't know if him or Dalvin Cook were scoring.
Yeah.
Because they have the same. We're gonna have the same problem here. I swear to God, Minnesota Vikings guys love guys with dreads.
Guys too that are 26 that I realize haven't played too much of their career. I feel like they don't have as much wear and tear.
Right, he doesn't have that much wear and tear coming out of Georgia Tech. That's why San Francisco got him.
Yeah.
And his snap percentage. I mean, Mike, he had an 85% snap percentage when CMC came back. He averaged 50%. He's probably going to average around 55, 50 with Aaron Jones in there. But again.
Yeah, he was in a lot.
When they're in the red zone, they like to run the ball, and why not Jordan Mason get some of those points, especially if you're in bonus leagues. Again, all of this stems from just looking at your platform, looking at your settings, see how your league mates everyone is playing in that league, and go from there. But Jordan Mason, bold prediction.
You know what? I like it. Since you went running back, I'm going to have to go another running back. I hate to do this though, man, because this was a really hard one for me, but I want it to be realistic because we know how much we love this guy. But my man, Mr. Alvin Kamara, I'm sorry, I think he might finish outside the top 24 this year.
Wow, Mike.
I also think come week 10, you might see a lot of guys have them on the bench.
But Mike, he's the only weapon on that team.
Now, let me give you some ideas in terms of his metrics. Now, he was pretty underwhelming to say the least. Among running backs that had a minimum of 100 carries, he ranked 36 in yak, 38th in elusive rating, run rate, and 28th in yards per carry. So that's pretty tough considering that he's also turning 30. You saw those first two games last year. He was explosive. Obviously 22 points, 44 points, and then he maintained consistency throughout the first 6 weeks. And actually throughout the first 10 weeks. But once he started getting banged up, once Derek Carr was gone, you saw him miss the last couple of weeks, the last 4 games. And I don't know if they can get back to that this year, being that his age, being the rookie quarterbacks that are involved. And in terms of his ADP value right now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see similar production out of him. So as much as I can get excited about Alvin Kamara, the PPR machine, Super Camario.
I think they just paid him too last year.
They did.
In training camp before they started.
Now, I'm not saying that he's not going to be there. I'm not saying that he's not going to play. I'm saying that you might find him less useful, just like a couple of years ago, Austin Eckler, who was the number 1 pick. Right, and everybody was big on him. And what happened?
2 years ago, yeah.
2 years ago.
He's with the Chargers.
When he was with the Chargers, before he went to Washington.
Yeah, I could see it.
So you have to expect that sometimes these guys, every year, there's somebody that all of a sudden you're like, what happened? What happened? Based on these metrics that I'm seeing in terms of his efficiency, you might not see similar production this year, and I'm just a little worried about the rookie quarterback. I'm a little worried about the system in general. I have to assume they're going to explore other options, especially at running back. And Alvin Kamara, I'm sorry, I'm thinking he finishes outside the top 24.
It's not an outside the box theory. They might be trading Chris Olave soon, so that team is probably getting ready to pick number 1. Overall next season. So I kind of feel for Kamara. I think all the attention is going to be on him. If I were him, I'd request a trade because, I think they're just going to be god-awful. But I think worse than the Giants. But, again, we'll see. I do like the take. I could see Kamara also being a draft day value just because, like you said, a lot of people will have that mindset of, okay, he can fall out of the top 24, top 25. He could be a great draft day value, 5th round, 6th round pick, and under the radar. But good take.
Little do you know that I'm probably doing this to all of you, so my league mates don't draft them, and I steal them in the 6th. So I'm not saying don't draft them at all. I'm saying,
Just don't draft him in our league.
pay attention. Now, man, listen, I think that about does it. I mean, I had that little sneaky segment. You want to throw that in there real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Why not?
All right, look, man,
ahead
really
and
quick. A made guy
Give me
is a
two of
guy
them.
that you could start on day one. A made guy is a guy that you say, this guy will produce, and there's no questions about it. He's automatically in your lineup. So, Puma, I'm just going to ask you real quick. 5 guys, I want you to tell me, is he a made guy? Number 1, Baker Mayfield. Is he a must-start made guy?
Made guy.
Jordan Addison.
Made guy.
Wow. Mr. Alvin Kamara.
Because of the scarcity of the position, made guy.
Chuba Hubbard.
Made guy.
Travis Kelce.
Done.
He's out. That's where you draw the line.
That's where I draw the line.
You heard it first here, Puma. Listen, take care, guys. Arrivederci. We are the Fantasy Wise guys. I'm your man, Mike Meals.
Joey Puma.
Now be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us all over the place. Look for us. Search for us. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know how you like the show. And if anything, please, we'll see you soon. Keep watching.
Master your game.